Texas A&M had this Lone Star Showdown circled on their schedule for 365 days, a whole year. Perfect record, perfect cap off to the season, revenge game, so why couldn't they get it done? Let's find out. My name is Adrian Phillips, 10-year NFL vet, and you are watching Student of the Game. This space is for like-minded people who love the game within a game. We just don't want to see the X's and O's, the touchdowns. We want to see the game plan and the thought process behind it. We want to see why one team won and another team lost. With that being said, this is a space where we're not bashing players. I'm not in the film room, you're not in the film room, so we don't know what these guys are being taught specifically. So we just see it from a bird's eye view and we make our own educated guess. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. So with that being said, let's get into the Lone Star Showdown of Texas A&M and Texas and see why Texas became the victor and was able to stay on top of them boys. Thank you for vibing with P. Thank you for coming to class. Class is in session. I hope you enjoy. We got a long one. Let's get into it. So we're going to start off with the Texas defense first, and then we'll get into A&M's defense going against Texas offense in a minute. So we got the first play of the game right here, and Texas really started it off fast. Jumped on the quick, almost got a sack off of it. We got a good rush here by Burke. We got a power rush, what we just called a power rush. I think the game plan for Texas early on was to try to keep Marcel Reed in the pocket, this quarterback, because I'm telling you, this dude right here, and I'm gonna keep on circling, is dangerous. So we have what I like to think is called a crush rush, where people just rush down the middle, keep the lanes restricted so they can fall back. Marcel tries to get out the pocket. He's not able to get up the field. And we almost get a sack right there. Texas almost get a sack. I'm gonna be a little biased. I'm gonna try to be as objective as I can. But I'm a Longhorn. I don't like A&M, but I'm gonna try to be as objective as I can. So let me just start that off and say that when you get in the comments, you don't be talking all crazy. All right, I just wanna put that out there. So they end up getting a first down. We get to another 2nd and 4 right here, and I really think A&M might have messed this play up. So I'm gonna let it run right here. It ends up becoming a negative play. Marcel ends up pulling this, but the play design on this is kind of crazy. So what you'll see right here is that we'll have these two guys pulling across with the running back faking, and Marcel number 10 ends up keeping the ball. Typically what happens is you really have your running back on this side. You still have the pulling offensive lineman, but you have your running back going this way to influence and pause these backers. And then Marcel is the quarterback, whoever it may be, may read one of these two guys. And if he likes the numbers, then he keeps the ball. I don't know. I feel like this play right here is not designed the way that I would like it. And then you have Burt right here, 91, screaming off the edge to the quarterback, something that I've talked about before that we call like missile, rocket, crash. They have whatever word they have for it, but basically hit this guy in the face. If he shows you the ball, hit him in the face, and that's what they do right there. So that might have messed it up too, but the play design was just a little bit weird on that. They're gonna end up running it later, and it ends up possibly being better, but they still don't get any yards off of it just because of a bad snap. But I don't feel like it was set up in the best possible way. So we get to 3rd down, 3rd and 4, and we have formation into the boundary, and this is really just kind of an identifier. So we have Texas has their nickel or their star right here to the field. He doesn't track coverage, so they're already thinking it's some type of zone right off the bat. We end up rushing 3 max coverage. Texas actually did a good amount of this on like 3rd and short to medium. They dropped like 8 people, but A&M, you got a chance to convert right here. You got a chance to convert right here when it's zone. And Marcel is, his time clock is kind of sped up right here because we have another power rush right here where he's rushing right down the middle and just kind of bullying that tackle. I was really surprised about how A&M, they O-line looked. I was surprised about that. But if I'm this receiver right here, and if I'm these two guys, I would really want him to just kind of settle down in that zone. It was one of two things. If I go back to the wide view right here, it's 3rd and 4. he doesn't run his route at the stick, first of all. So it's this guy right here. He doesn't necessarily get to the first down marker. The first down is about like right there, and he's still short. So if the ball's completed, they get a good tackle. Okay, don't get it. Now you got fourth and short. Now you got to decide what you're gonna do. Second of all, is zone. So you really want this guy to kind of settle down in the middle right there. He keeps running. I don't know what they're taught, but typically if they see zone right there, just settle down just a little bit. He gets his eyes to the quarterback quick, like he should, but he should settle down a lot faster to give Marcel a chance to be able to deliver a catchable ball and possibly get the first down. But with that being said, it was a great job by Texas to end up getting off the field versus a high-powered offense. So nothing ends up happening. We get to the next drive, end up getting to a third down, and we have our identifier right here, whether if it's man or if it's zone. So they just kind of do that to see like, all right, what defense is this coverage in? Sometimes the quarterback might do it on its own. Sometimes it might be drawn up in the play, but they see right here that we got two guys going with them. Two guys going with them. So they know it's possibly some type of man. And Texas ends up running a 3-man game that really shouldn't work on 3rd and 6 because you don't have enough time, but it ends up working because they drop their two ends and they have basically 3 guys playing hold players, and it makes the quarterback hold the ball, and they're able to force an errant throw. Not the best route concept on 3rd and 6 anyway, but I mean, there was nothing there for him. Marcel couldn't run like he wanted to, if you watch right here, because he's just gonna have people waiting on him. 3-man rush, you got time, scan through the field. Still a catchable ball though. Texas ends up getting off the field again. Texas defense really showed up for a team that was like, kind of getting a lot of flack on the defensive side of the ball. They want to talk about Arkansas putting X amount of points on them. Them boys really showed up. So we get to 2nd and 6, and the next drive, this is really when A&M was like really starting to move the ball, so to speak. And this ends up being a good catch right here by really like the best offensive player on the field. Ends up being a good catch right here because they just run a simple spacing, get a great break by 26 right here, because if that ball is anywhere else, it is incomplete or picked. But great catch. That boy is a dog. Anytime he got the ball, I was just like, here we go. Here we go. He got that punt return. I was like, stop kicking it to this man. He's dangerous. So they ended up getting some yards. Right there, we get another play. The time clock is just sped up right here. It's just sped up. Because they really have what they want, honestly. But I feel like when you're a quarterback and you just back there patting the ball sometimes, like, you're like, all right, something ain't right. I shouldn't have this much time. Somebody should be on me. But if he stays patient and he sees the lane right here, and that like I said, he's a dog. He's a way better quarterback than I ever was. If he just scans and if he just gets back and realizes that he has time, which Arch did a lot of it when we get to Texas's offense, but he can find that guy right there. He can find him. We fall down right there. He can find him. End up rushing, getting some positive yards out of it, but I'm gonna run it back a little bit. Just look at his head. His head is on a swivel because he knows, and he sees the open lane, and if he running the ball, it's a tough day for the defense, but at the same time, they possibly had one right there. I'm glad they didn't find it. This was a dope play right here. I feel like they're most dangerous when they're in the RPO, the sprint out world. Anything that gives this guy a lot of options to do anything. So this was really a good find by him. It ends up being an RPO. He ends up pulling it. It actually is a play action. They just really sell it like an RPO, and it's really a good find by him. Really a good find by him. I don't think that should have been a flag. Football is super soft right now. Dump that boy. Shouldn't have been a flag. This ended up being a great break by number 4, Jelani right here, just because I've gotten on him in prior weeks just about processing it and reading it fast, and he's still learning. I think he's still a raw player, but for him to be able to go get that and really just not allow the receiver to get any more yards off of that was huge. But this is what happens when you have a good quarterback like this. I think Colin Simmons is supposed to be taking that guy because he's dropping in coverage. It could be Taft. They run this max cover 3 where they rush 3 people sometimes, and I'm not in the film room, so I don't know who's supposed to take that wheel route. I would guess it would be him, but I'm not in there. But when you have a guy like Reed that's able to draw, look at all these eyes. Look at all those eyes. To draw that, it makes it real tough on the secondary. But great job by Jelani. Weak call right there. They end up getting a first down off of it. So they end up false starting, and that's really a drive killer. Like I said, they were moving the ball, and they end up false starting. And this was great by Colin Simmons going to press the issue. The same thing that Ethan Burke did a few plays ago. Do not give them time to develop their plays. Because if he sits right here, if he surfs, what we call surf, where he waits on the quarterback, they got all the time in the world. And this ball is a good throw to number 1. And they kind of got blockers on blockers right now. And it could be a touchdown. But it was a great job by Colin. Like, bro, if you reading me, if this tackle don't block me, I'm finna hit you in the face. Those plays are so hidden throughout the game because, like I just drew up, if he catches that, who knows? That's a touchdown. That was a big play right there. So now you behind the sticks. Now you have, I won't say a negative play, but you don't have a positive play off of that, and it really puts you behind the sticks and gets you off schedule. That was 1st and 15. Now it's 3rd and 14. They gained 1 yard off of jumping off sides. This ends up actually being set up perfect for A&M. Marcel Reed ends up getting hurt. I was so glad that he came back in the game for 2 reasons. One, I hate seeing great players get hurt. Any player, I hate seeing that get hurt. But I did not want any excuses when Texas beat A&M. I did not want any excuses, so I wanted him back in the game. But this actually kind of ends up being set up. I know it's 3rd and 14, but this bad snap kind of messes it up right here because I think if he's able to read this like he wants to, they have something. And this was actually the play that we talked about earlier. This running back was on this side and went that way. This time I feel like they had it set up the right way where now, you got 2 safeties. You got your lineman coming around plugging for this guy, whoever it may be. You might have something. It's a light box. You might have something right there. But with that being said, good job by Texas getting off the field. Ends up being 3-0 because Texas actually blocked the field goal, which was like freaking huge. So we go a little further into the next drive, and it ends up being 3rd and short. Running back got to stay up right here. 1, Gilbo got to make that tackle. Number 3 has to make that tackle for Texas. But this is really good setup by A&M, man. This is a really good freaking setup. So they got formation into the boundary. They got what you would think is finna be an unbalanced formation because those 2 guys are on the line. You got your tight end off right here. He short motions back into the box, so you might be thinking something this way, but it ends up being really good. This is what I'm telling you. This is what Georgia did. This is what Vandy did. This is like to get those positive runs in the run game, and then on top of that, you're pulling back over here, so you have everybody plus on this side of the field defensively, then you're pulling back over here. You just got numbers. I'm gonna go to the back end on this, and if this running back stays up, he hitting his head on the goalpost. I don't think we catch him. I don't think we catch him. So if you're ever in a situation as a corner, when this guy isn't looking at you and you realize that it's run, you gotta go right now. Right now. Go get the space right now. Look at this. His first step was this way, and it opened up all that space, and he really almost made you, he really made you miss in the phone booth without doing anything. And you end up getting the leg on him, but I'm glad we got him right there. And he might not have scored. We got people running right here, but that ended up being a big play for them, and they really didn't come back to it like I thought they would. This is what I hate about referees. I told you, I'm gonna try to be as objective as I can, but so this ends up being a PI, right? So we got two refs back here. We got a ref right here that you can see, and we got a ref, I think he's right there. Right there. This ref does not throw the flag. He is responsible for this area right here. The ref in the middle of the field who's not even looking over there, his eyes don't transfer over there until the ball is in the air. Ends up throwing the flag. Bro, what are we doing? You can clearly see that it's inadvertent. The cornerback is looking at the quarterback. They just run into each other and fall. This ref didn't even throw the flag, bro. He wasn't even reaching his pocket to act like he was throwing a flag. This dude just threw it. That's what drives me crazy about refs. That was an awful call. They're able to get a field goal off of it because of a terrible ref call. Yes, they fall so it looks like it, but it's just inadvertent. Dude ran a double move and he ran into the corner. That's his fault. Tell him not to run into the corner, but I hate when refs do that. If you're not responsible for that area, I know sometimes you might see something that another ref might miss, but that ref looking dead at it, bro. What are we doing? They get the 15 yards off of that, and I know he was hurt, but if A&M really wanted a chance, they needed more design runs with him, because this is what you get. This is what you get when you let that boy run the ball like that. They needed more design runs. And one play, he able to pick up 12 yards. What Texas has to be better defensively, I want to say it's this guy. There's different ways that you can play this right here. So we have our corner responsible. I'm going to just draw this up. We got our corner responsible for this space right here. That means Burke, 91, is responsible for this space. He's responsible here. Everybody's responsible for a gap, some type of gap, right? You see that. We're going to see right here, we get scooped, which allows Reed to get on the edge. So now 14 doesn't know how to play this, because really, he's responsible for this space right here. And maybe this guy in coverage, depending on what the coverage is, but it just looks a little funky, and he really goes and blocks himself. He went and blocked himself right there. I ain't gonna lie, that was trash. But this is why you gotta stay in your gap. When you don't stay in your gap versus elite guys like that, it's gonna be a long day for us. So they end up getting 3 out of it. Now the score is 3-3. This ends up so we get to that same thing that we saw on the last drive, right? Formation into the boundary. So it could be that same number 10 run again, but I know he hurt, but bro, look at this. So, and when I'm talking about, Reed will be coming back this way, and they got 2 pullers coming with the action going this way. It's a tough play to stop, bro. The Ravens used to run this like crazy, and they still kind of do with Lamar Jackson. I know he's been hurt, but this is a very, very tough play to stop right here, because these guys right here who are responsible for off the ball and quarterbacks and stuff like that, it really makes your eyes go in 2 different ways. Your eyes are in a blender. They are in a blender, bro, because it's a lot of moving stuff. It is a lot of moving stuff, and I know he's hurt, but he got to trust his speed right here and get on the edge. That's ugly. That's ugly. Your best players got to play the best in big situations. So he ends up handing the ball off. I'm glad he did because they really had something right here. They really had something right here. That was another 10, 15 yard gain because they got a body on the body. Great job right here by number 8. Go meet that boy. Violent. Oh my God. Violent. They did not want none. That's crazy. So we get to 3rd and 8. The first half, Texas really did a good job like on 3rd down until really like the end of the second quarter. What we're watching right now, they really were able to keep this guy in the pocket and keep his head on a swivel and really get after him in a good fashion. So we get the motion. Nobody runs with the motion, so you're thinking that it's some type of zone. Texas ends up, I would say, ideally sending the house. But, bro, this dude right here, best player on the field. I don't care what you say. Best player on the field. You talk about a game record. When that boy is locked in, I know they got 7. I think this is 7 right here. I know they got 10. And I know we got some dogs on defense, but this dude right here, bro, best player on the field. Like, look at this jump. Oh my God. Best player on the field by far, bro. Crazy work. Tackle does not have a chance. It doesn't matter what protection you call, but he don't have a chance. And this was a great job by, let me highlight this because I don't know if Texas is running some type of game or what, but we got a 6-man front. All lanes should be filled. We really almost let them off the hook. We had 8 going around. We had 18 coming around. I wonder if they were trying to penetrate here. I don't know, but the boy almost got out of there. It was a good job by 8 falling back. 8 and 18 both falling back right there. 24, I think, would have got him anyway. Number 1, bro, best player on the field. Debate your mama. That boy is the best player on the field. It was crazy. This was a huge play, this one. So it's 4th and 4, right? They decided they're going to go for it. We just got to do our job. It's tough. It's tough, bro. I feel like Texas is in some type of cover 4 right here, but these are the hidden plays throughout the game that really matter because they don't have anything. Look at this. I'm just right there. It's quick game. Marcel, his feet are already set up. They do not have anything. And I feel like it's cover 4, and just to kind of talk y'all through it. So you have your cover guys right here, cover 4. Everybody is responsible for their quarter of the field deep. It can be like eyes where they're looking at the quarterback, or it can be man where they're looking at the receiver. So right now we got our guy looking at the receiver down here. So it's more of like a man type of cover 4. Could be. I won't say that off the bat because, they call different stuff and they can look like different things. But essentially, this looks like cover 4. You have your 2 short player, which means he's responsible for 2 short. You have your 3 short player who's responsible for the running back, and you have your 2 short player on this side. When you're the 2 short player to the field, if 3 is away, you have to stay inside out on this guy right here, because this dude is tracking 3. His eyes are going that way. Yeah, you can still be looking at the quarterback a little bit, but his coverage responsibility is that way. So you're really responsible for staying inside out on this guy right here. Don't stay inside out. End up getting inside. End up getting the first. And that's what allowed them to be able to score before halftime. So was it a good job by A&M? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was I think they just executed what they wanted to do, and Texas didn't do their job. But there was really no magnificent scheme behind it. It's just he got inside his coverage responsibility. The other guy didn't keep the receiver from getting there. So they get down the field a little bit more. We get to another 3rd and 1. We don't have anybody in the post right here, okay? So we got our free safety right here. I believe that he's kind of playing on Marcel because his legs can become alive right here. So we have a formation identifier. We got all 3 of our receivers to one side of the field. They're 3 for 3 over here. Man coverage. Easy read for this guy right here. He ends up making the wrong decision, but it ends up working out for him. It's no harm, no foul. He's responsible. I believe he's responsible for the zone read if it ends up being a zone read because it's 3rd and 1. So you know it's going to be some type of run or RPO. And that's exactly what they give us right here. It's like a RPO pop pass, so to speak, right? So Marcel is going to end up throwing it to this guy right here. He could have possibly waited to throw it to him. He had the best player on the field running down his neck, so he might not have had time. But with that being said, 16 could have had 2 of them things. Oh my God, 16 could have had 2. And he's responsible for reads, so it's hard. So these guys are kind of playing like they don't have any help because if it is run, he has a trigger and he's not gonna be there. But he could have fell into one. He could have fell into one. He really didn't have time to throw that second one that ended up being open. And I don't even know. I feel like he's supposed to see this guy right here. But, I mean, he just makes a great throw. Puts it right on the 7, bro. If that's anywhere else, incomplete, picked off, who knows, go to 4th and 1, whatever it may be. But hell of a throw right there. They end up getting their first touchdown of the game. It's 3-3. There is a minute and 2 left. Texas started calling some timeouts. Here we go again. Formation into the boundary has kind of been working out for him, right? Trying to identify, okay, if the corner travels, maybe it's some type of man. But either way, we want to go formation into the boundary to give ourselves a chance to be able to run to the field. And I know the ball is kind of in the middle of the field, but same concept. Same concept. So they come back. And this time, it's a jet sweep RPO. These plays are so, when you got a running quarterback, bro, you can run whatever you want. You can run whatever you want, bro. It's crazy. So they got a jet with a puller. If number 1 stays upfield to cut that off, he just goes underneath. And I know this is a touchdown. And 16 Tab, he gotta make this tackle. Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about this. Just look at this dude right here. You want to talk about concussion protocol? Get wet. Jesus Christ. Get up, 14. Oh my God. Oh my God. 16 got to make that tackle. 14 be the hammer, not the nail. Oh, he didn't even see him. That's nuts. You weren't even looking. Oh, you got to see that. 16 got to make this tackle. But if I'm being honest, it's 95% on 16 because he got to make this tackle. But it's a big 5% for this corner, bro. You got to die slow death. And you either got to get upfield or restrict this hole as much as possible. Restrict it as much as possible because contact is made in the alley. We'll just call it closer to the hash. Look where you get pushed to. And he's still not past you. He's still not past you right now, and you 3-4 yards from the sideline. Malik is a good player. You just got to die slow death right here. But no doubt whatsoever, 16 got to make this tackle. But to me, this is the second best player on the field. I know 10 is 10. 10 is 10, but this dude right here, a freaking problem, bro. A freaking problem. Should be first round. Probably will be first round. So they end up scoring right there, a late touchdown into the second half. The first 2 drives of the game, they really weren't able to do nothing. Then they started moving the ball the second quarter. They were really able to find something. So now we get to the second half, and Buddy feeling himself. Came out the first play. Look, they feel like they found something, right? So we have the two receivers over here to the side. We're gonna identify again. Like, is it some type of man or is it some type of zone? Like, how you gonna line up to it? It's been working for them late in the second quarter, so they come out into it again. Like, let's try it again. We get another jet, but this is a different type of jet. All jets are not created equal. One, that's number 3. 2, look at his speed. All jets are not created equal. So you got to know that when you're watching film. But this boy came out, now he feeling himself, and he almost threw a dot. I thought this was a pick, so I'm sitting, oh my God, that is, let me draw that. I'm sitting way back here, in the suites and stuff, looking at the game, bird eye view, and I see this dude running around. I'm like, oh shit, it can get a little dicey right here, and I saw him loading up right here. I'm like, oh, this is a pick, and he ended up throwing it behind him. Just ended up not being a good ball. I'll go to the back view on it. Ended up not being a good ball, but overall, it ended up being okay by Texas. But look at this, bro. That was 5 more yards. That boy might still be running. I don't know how fast he is, but he might still be running. So we got away with one on that. Getting them to 3rd and 8, and I'm gonna go straight to the back view on this. You go 3rd and 8. You're in a protection look. That means you got 2 running backs right here. So ideally, you would be thinking they're gonna chip both sides. It almost turns into punt pro. You let the best player on the field come untouched, boy, you ain't got no chance. You ain't got a chance, bro. Untouched, and he barely got touched right there. I'm gonna still say untouched. You don't have a chance, bro. And this is what I mean when I was surprised about A&M's offensive line, because I feel like, I watched like 1 or 2 games. I think they were, for the most part, solid. Maybe I thought they were better than our O-line. But you let the best player on the field come untouched. Crazy work. And you get what you deserve. You let that boy come untouched like that, you get what you deserve. I love it. The mental lapses that A&M had to really, like, they're a good team. I'm not finna sit here and act like A&M ain't no good team. They are a really good team. Them boys was undefeated, but they came into this game tripping. Texas was on their P's and Q's, and A&M came in tripping. This was freaking fire. I love when corners show physicality, especially that Kobe Black. Kobe Black, we ain't seen number 6 out there in a minute. So this was cool because Texas, they're shelling like it could be like a 1 high, right? Or a cover 3. It looks like, man, we got our guys pressed. I know their eyes are inside. If you're a good quarterback, you might be able to see that. But I feel like as the game went on, there was a minute in the 4th quarter like where he really turned up and then he lost it again. But Texas did a really good job disguising. So we drop back. We end up getting the cover 2. And it's not a bad read. It's not a bad read at all. But this is what you got to do. Break that boy face mask. Break that boy face mask. Perfect corner play. Jam. Make the receiver go inside. You see the throw explode through the freaking hit. Big time. That was a big time play right there. Because he might end up getting the first down if he's late. If he's late on that break, he might end up getting the first down. Boom. That boy chest. Yeah. Sell out one time. Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. 3rd and 2. Long foul ball. Big time. 3rd and 2, long foul ball. And you leave. Texas runs a good game right here. They stem to a 5 down front. Pressure is so tough right here. Some people call it a bandit. Some people call it nut game, whatever it may be. But it's basically where this guy penetrates and he comes and wraps behind him. It makes it so tough because if 93 from Texas doesn't get penetration right here, 91 doesn't have a chance. But he gets that penetration. Who knows? Now you off the field. I mean, you go to the next drive, it's 2nd and 7. It's 2nd and 7, and this is just on here to show what type of athlete he is. Like the fact that he was able to get out of that and get around the edge was crazy, but you got the best player on the field being dominant coming after you. Like, good luck. Good luck. Because they have something in the middle of the field, but his time clock is so sped up. It's so sped up. He's in his face right now. Could have been a holding. Could have been. You know, they ain't gonna throw no flags for Texas. But that, like, look at that type of athlete he is. To be able to get around the edge and you blink, he's 9 yards down the field. Like, bro. Good quarterback. This is on here, like, this was kind of the problem with A&M's run game. It's great by Texas, but it was the problem with their run game, like getting the body on the body. So they straight right now. They are 3 for 3 right here. You're 2 for 2 right here. You just gotta win. You gotta win your one-on-one. The burnt orange, he wanted it more. And they still ended up getting like 6, 7 yards on this run, but it could have been a lot more. Could have been a lot more explosive, but guys, like that was the problem with their run game. When you look at their run game throughout the game, like they were just missing those one-on-one blocks. This was a dope play by 18 right here. 3rd and 1. Texas A&M goes 12 personnel. It's a form of their heavy personnel right here. This was a great play by 18. This is not scheme at all. I mean, it kind of is. 50 tripping. You got Buddy lined up right over the top of you. So what you would think would happen is they combo here and go straight to there. You don't block the Mike linebacker. Crazy work. This guy's not accounted for. And maybe he's supposed to be blocked by him. I don't know. If he's supposed to be blocked by him, that's still kind of trash to me because typically your safety is supposed to be the unblocked player. They're not even supposed to be counting him in a run fit if the run is going this way or somewhere over there. They're typically not even counting him in the run fit. So for you to leave 18 unblocked, a good player like that is crazy work. And he almost went and blocked himself. But this is what I'm talking about. This was something that was wrong with their run game. That 3 for 3 right here. Boom, 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 combo up. 3 for 3. What are you doing? What are you doing? Thank you, though. Thank you. We will take you. It's 4th and 1, and A&M gets that 3rd false start of the game. So I'm saying them boys are not on their P's and Q's, but it was rocking. It was rocking. DKR was rocking. I probably ain't heard it that loud. I mean, Georgia was loud, but like maybe 2013 West Virginia, 2012 West Virginia. I played terrible that game too. Freaking awful. That was probably the worst game of my collegiate career. I played freaking awful. Jesus Christ. Talk about a throwback. So that happens, ends up being 3rd and 4. Now you see on the other side, Texas starting to take off a little bit. They're starting to take off. But the rush is just on them so fast. The rush is on them so fast. It's just a 4-man rush. They're identifying if his man is on. Ends up being a form of zone, and they have a guy. But best player on the field in his face. In his face. That's what I mean. Like, one was game wrecking. As many times as he touched 10, you would have loved to see A&M just chip him, bro. Do something. Help me. And I guess they tried, but that's a whack chip. That is a whack chip. That's what happens. He makes a miss right there. They almost get the first down. So they end up driving down the field. There were a lot of good plays in there, but we got to keep going. We are already at 40-something minutes. This was just a terrible job by Texas' D tackle. Ends up really getting outside of his gap. It kind of runs like right where he's supposed to be, so to speak. Just makes it tough. 26 is still there to make the tackle, but Texas ended up scoring. We'll go to the last few plays to show why did 10 throw these picks. I'll tell you why, because this is a great job by 16 right here. So they're in the form of cover 4, 17-27, 3:45 going. They're knocking on the door. They are knocking on the door, but this is a great job. And this might be a busted coverage right here by number 6, but he doesn't see it just because he doesn't really have enough time and Buddy not really running a route like he wants the ball, which is crazy. 3 is not running the route like he wants the ball. But anyway, it's a form of cover 4. Some form of cover 4, so he's responsible for him. He's responsible for him. They end up running what some of us call Dino, double pose, double N, Dallas, pin, whatever you want to call it. Tab doesn't have any responsibility because his coverage ends up staying shallow, so he gets his eyes on the quarterback. When Reed looks back to this end route right here, he actually gets some pressure, and I believe that's what makes him force that throw like that, because he didn't have enough time to really read. He saw him, he was like, I gotta go. But this is a great job by Tab, and we'll see it on the back end right here. Senior night, big time, bro. I'm so happy for that dude, man. This is a big time play. Big time play. You want to talk about reading a quarterback? This is like Blake Gideon type stuff right here. He sees Reed's eyes transfer. He knows that there's nothing over here. He peeks, go find work. If you do not have work, go find work, and the football guys will bless you. 9 times out of 10, them boys will bless you, I promise you. I promise you. Ends up getting blessed right there. And then we get to the next one, and this is just, I believe this is just a force from Reed. Like, this was nuts. I can't believe he threw this. I cannot believe he threw this. Texas is showing a form of one high, right? There's miscommunication here. They end up getting it done, but they're going to spin to cover 2. And you cannot force me to believe that Reed did not know this was cover 2. He catches the ball. He looks here. You see the safety rolling over the top. You cannot tell me you did not know this was cover 2. You're looking at the corner. The receiver's getting on top of him. His eyes are inside waiting on you. You just forced it. You are not finna make me believe he did not know this was cover 2. This was crazy. I could not believe he threw this ball. And he couldn't believe it either. Like, look at him. Like, what? Thank you. But what are we doing? They motion to trips, to trade, what we call it. So we have 3 receivers on one side of the field, so they know it's a form of zone. But Texas actually does a good job of, they playing like a 2-match, which is kind of fire. Kind of fire, by the way. But you just can't make me believe you didn't think this was cover 2. Maybe he thought it was 2-man. I don't know. Whatever he thought, I'm glad he thought it. But for him to be that caliber player, this was just a force. A force. So that's how they won. Defensively, Texas showed up and really had Marcel and the Texas A&M offense really in a blender all game. All game. There were some plays throughout the second quarter and really early in the fourth where they looked like they were kind of getting their rhythm, but Texas just did a good job. Big games from Tab, Kobe Black, Colin Simmons, Ethan Burke, LaFowl 18, all them boys, they really played good defensively. PK called a great game defensively, but it just looked like Texas was on their P's and Q's and A&M just was not ready to match that level of intensity. So that's how they want it. With that being said, I'm Adrian Phillips. Thank you for coming to Student of the Game. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you gotta do. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Phillips_17. I love talking ball. Let me know what you think. I'ma holla at you. Peace.